Donald Trump all alone at Mar-a-Lago, ranting and raving like a lunatic in order to soothe his mind as he has an utter meltdown that his approval continues to drop even lower as this presidency, the worst in American history, collapses. He's posting on social media photos of potential marble armrests for the seating at the Kennedy Center, which he unlawfully has vandalized and called the Trump Kennedy Center. He's posting photos of marble. He's posting photos of marble floors. He goes, the renovated Palm Room. He's posting graphs that actually show prices going up right here for home prices. He's like, home prices dropped 27%. They were dropping under former President Biden. And now the graph shows that they're going back up. You have the White House account. It's continuing to post, Donald Trump bombed ISIS in Nigeria to save the Christians in Nigeria. Yeah, we're going to get you, ISIS terrorist scum. ISIS terrorist scum. Donald, didn't you say that you got rid of all of ISIS? Didn't you say that because of you, ISIS was so afraid that they were nowhere to be found? And let's just be clear about the facts. And I've gone over this before, but let me repeat it again. Because corporate news, cable news, refuse to tell you the truth. Here is indeed first and foremost ISIS. There's ISIL in Western Africa, ISIL of Africa, Boko Haram. These are groups that are operating in Nigeria. Okay? They are attacking, though, Muslims and Christians at the same amount. There's no, attack specifically on Christians. And Donald Trump told Politico yesterday, I wanted to brand this as a Christmas strike. I told you that's what he was going to do. You're branding unlawful acts of war that require congressional approval as Christmas strikes to say you're going after the ISIS cells that are targeting the Christians. Jay, would be honest about what's going on. Nigeria has oil and lithium, and the Trump regime wants it so Donald Trump can give the oil and lithium to his right-wing oligarch friends. Just tell the people the truth, and the people can make a decision for themselves. Why don't you actually get congressional authorization as Donald Trump rots away, deteriorates away before our eyes in Palm Beach at Mar-a-Lago? One of the things that he's continuing to do now is attack Ukrainian President Zelensky. Now, this comes as Russia launched horrific ballistic missile and drone strikes on Kyiv last night, and I don't think the timing is coincidental. Russia's doing it in the lead up to what's supposed to take place on Sunday. So Zelensky's been pushing for a meeting with Donald Trump in Palm Beach, Mar-a-Lago area on Sunday. And Zelensky's trying to be productive, and I'll do a whole nother video on this, but Zelensky is calling Donald Trump's bluff along with the European allies. So Zelensky is saying, you want us to give up some territory in eastern Ukraine? That's what's going to do it for you, Donald. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we agree to a 60-day ceasefire first? Okay, we'll agree to a 60-day ceasefire. Then why don't we put it to the vote of the Ukrainian people once there's 60 days of ceasefire if Russia can agree to that? Put it to a vote if they want to be part of Russia or if they want to be part of Ukraine. So let the people decide, and we need to make sure it's a free and fair election. Why don't you let the people of Donbass, why don't you let the people of eastern Ukraine, why don't you let them make the decision? It was a brilliant strategy, right? It was a beautiful chess move, if you will, to put it back on Donald Trump. But Donald Trump's playing checkers with Putin, which is just the end of the day, Trump wants Putin to take over Ukraine. That's it. So Donald Trump says Donald Trump's pissed about that plan that Zelensky announced. So Trump tells Politico, Zelensky doesn't have anything until I approve it. As Politico goes on to say, Donald Trump on Friday cast himself as the ultimate arbiter of any peace deal between Ukraine and Russia in an exclusive conversation with Politico. Ukrainian President Zelensky is expected to meet with Trump in Florida on Sunday and told reporters he's bringing with him a new 0-point peace plan. The framework includes a proposed demilitarized zone, and the meeting is expected to focus on U.S. security guarantees. But in an interview, Politico writes, Trump appeared lukewarm to Zelensky's latest overture and in no rush to endorse the Ukrainian president's proposal. He doesn't have anything until I approve it, Trump told Politico. So we'll see what he's got. And it goes on to say, the president's comments underscore the degree to which Ukraine's fate rests on convincing Trump that it is conceding enough to satisfy a president who at times has appeared inclined to lean toward Russia if it means an end to the war. Well, that's putting it lightly right there. But no, Ukraine's future depends on Ukraine, and it depends on Europe. And Ukraine's not going to bend the knee. It's not going to surrender. It knows what Donald Trump and Russia are up to. He knows what Trump and Putin are planning right here. And that's why this was actually a brilliant move. Show up. Show that you're being productive. Show that you're actually willing to give up land, even though you don't want to, but you'll put it to the voters. But demand a 60-day ceasefire to call the bluff of Russia, to which Donald Trump is pissed about that, and Putin's pissed about that. Why would you be pissed about that? It shows that what they really want is just total surrender. That's what they're going for here. Zelensky also posted, it's important if we succeed in organizing what we discussed today with Trump's envoys. Some documents, as I see it already, some documents are fully prepared. And of course, we got to get this done on sensitive issues. That pissed off Donald Trump. But, Donald Trump, as I said, is stewing in his own filth. He's stewing in his own grotesque stench, right? I mean, this is a grotesque, evil creature who's over there in Mar-a-Lago working with MAGA Mike Johnson and other MAGAs, covering up a child sex trafficking ring, covering up the biggest pedo sex trafficking ring in history in plain view. Donald Trump posting like a maniac yesterday. Now, this is what he goes. And by the way, this is in response to the Mice Touch reporting, right? We were the ones who uncovered that there were at least 2 million more pages with the Southern District of New York. We called it out and the DOJ had to admit to it. By the way, that's why subscribe to this YouTube channel if you can, and go to MidasPlus.com and support our Substack. We need your help to keep on growing and expanding because we're leading the way on reports like that, right? So Donald Trump yesterday, he writes after posting about the marble, look at my marble. Marble handles, marble this, marble that. As the American people are suffering, being psychologically tortured, living paycheck to paycheck if they're fortunate enough to have a paycheck, Americans can't afford their rent right now. Things are entirely unaffordable. And Donald Trump's posting about marble and marble photos. Then Donald Trump posts this. Now, 1 million more pages on Epstein are found. DOJ is being forced to spend all of its time on this Democrat-inspired hoax. When do they say no more and work on election fraud, etc.? The Dems are the ones who worked with Epstein, not the Republicans. Release all of their names, embarrass them, and get back to helping our country. The radical left doesn't want people talking about Trump and Republican success. Only a long ago dead Jeffrey Epstein, just another witch hunt, exclamation point. By the way, you remember when like Don Jr. would say things like this? This is from July 8th of 2023. Show us all the Epstein client list now. Why would anyone protect those scumbags? Ask yourself this question daily, and the answer becomes very apparent. It's very apparent what's going on to the American people. Even Trump's MAGA people know what's going on. Why would you be covering up a child sex trafficking pedo ring like this? Why would you be doing it? What were you doing, Donald, when you and Jeffrey Epstein were hanging out with the people who you called the models who were 16, 17 years old, 18? What were you doing? What do you think that we're supposed to believe that was going on? What I'm asking questions, right? I have a First Amendment right to provide opinion speech under the Constitution, right? That's what I'm doing in this video. This is First Amendment protected opinion speech, all of it. And so I'm asking questions. You can answer them. What do you think? And by the way, just take a look right here as Donald Trump is stewing in his own filth, his own disgusting stench of hate and loserness, and just the horrific GH that's everything. I mean, just the grotesque creature covering up a child, sex trafficking. What else are they doing in the regime? As the Daily Beast reports, Trump hires beauty salon owner to decide who to ban from us. This is Maureen Abder. Here she is. This is her new photo. This was Maureen Abder in 2016 when she was on Good Morning Texas, WFAA, 88 ABC in 2016 to promote her salon. Different look. I'm just making an observation. That's not saying anything other than, there she is there. Here she is now. Here she is now. There she is then. Anyway, here's the article right here. What are we even doing anymore? Namer, 46, owns a mini chain of beauty salons called BAM in her native Texas, with locations in the West Village in her hometown of Dallas, as well as in Fort Worth and Plano. The original salon, she told Voyage Dallas magazine, was intended to be gorgeous, sophisticated, and evoke dreams of Parisian heaven in Dallas, with 20 feet wallflowers and its grout of her friends asking her to do the makeup at their weddings. It dawned on me that there was a need for a gorgeous place that treats the styling of women like a form of art. She said, while she told D Magazine in 2017 that it was fun and cheeky blowout, start at $45 and professional makeup sessions at $55. So she's now the individual in charge of deciding on who gets visas and who gets asylum applications. She's now got this major role in our government, apparently under the Trump regime right there. Meanwhile, you have MAGAs. This is what they were posting on Christmas. We're seeing photos like that. Patriot Takes, who works with the Midas Touch Network now, wrote the following. Indiana GOP Senate leader Chris Garton posted AI pics of himself beating up Santa Claus on Christmas. He then called everyone snowflakes who complain. And our friend Brian Tyler Cohen writes, these are the people who spent the last 2 decades hyperventilating about the left's war on Christmas. Everything with these people is a confession. T, here's what Zelensky wrote about his meeting with Friedrich Marx, the Chancellor of Germany. I spoke with Chancellor of Germany, Friedrich Marx. We are coordinating our position, and everyone in Europe must be on the same page and defending our European way of life and independence of our states and peace in Europe. There must be peace. We spoke with Friedrich about the preparations for the meeting with Trump. I briefed him on our work with the U.S. envoys. We all recall the Berlin meeting format. I'm grateful to Germany for its unwavering and tangible support for Ukraine and our defense. Thanks to what we are doing together with Germany, thousands upon thousands of lives in Ukraine have already been saved from Russian strikes, and we are maintaining our defensive positions to ensure the strength of our diplomatic positions. Friedrich, thank you. Powerful words right there. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe.